are back.
Yay!
All right, I don't know where to go from here. Is there anything you guys want to talk about? So I've got a lot of stuff here in front of me. I heard Jackie talking about Harry Potter and stuff over there too.
Unwritten.
She was explaining Unwritten to me.
Mike Carey's series. It's ongoing.
That sounds great.
Now, what is this?
Have you read that?
No.
The guy at the end? Who's
Jeff.
Yes,
the guy at the end who's awesome at summation. That's what I was just saying.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yes, I've read some of the issues, including the opening storyline.
The first trade?
Yeah, which, yes, the kid's basically like Harry Potter. The person that Harry Potter was based on, and then finds that things from the Harry Potter universe start creeping into his real life.
It's essentially like if J.K. Rowling had a kid named Harry Potter who grew up to be a slacker and went to Comic-Con and just signed his name, and that was his job. And he tried to write things, but he sucked at it. And he was a drunkard and an idiot. And then all of a sudden Voldemort showed up, and he was like, fuck, it's real. And
Don't say his name.
I don't have any. Don't say his name. I don't have that kind of power. With Jinx, they're here. Oh my God! And
For me, it's Palin. You say Palin
don't say
instead
her
of
name either.
Voldemort.
Well, yeah, because she could do the same thing and actually tie it so by saying her name, she knows where you're at.
I think she'd make an excellent president if we lived in The Handmaid's Tale. Anyway,
What a good idea.
When she becomes president, it'll be nice to have a dollar bill with her on it, and I can jerk off to it.
Yes.
the nicest thing I can say about her is that she is not helping. She is not part of the solution.
Oh, she's a.
She's
really
a cunt. She's an antichrist, and she's a fuck chop. And if I could knife her in the eyeball,
What did you say, a
I
fuck
might.
chop?
Yes,
That's
it's
a
like
good
a
word.
fuck chop, but she's a
Do you
fuck.
mind if I borrow
Yeah,
that?
please.
Fuck chop.
Hey, you
Please
fuck
credit
chop.
Jimmy Pardo.
Anyway, so
chop.
it was Unwritten, I think we were talking
Yes,
about,
and
right?
unwritten, and
Yeah.
all
Sorry.
things Mike
I
Carey are
derailed it.
fantastic, of course. I love Lucifer, but
I
unwritten.
love Lucifer.
Do you love Lucifer?
It's
name-
a
sounds
it's
like
a
his name
show
would
in
be-
the 50s.
Perry Hodder, I think is his name.
Perry Hodder.
Perry Hodder.
No, that's the gay
No,
porn,
it's Tom.
right?
Tom Riddle. No, what the hell's his name? His name is Tom.
I'm lost.
What the character in Unwritten's name is? Tommy. It's
Yeah,
Tommy
Two-tone.
something.
Tommy
Tommy
Rowling.
Two-Tone. Doesn't
Rowling.
matter.
So,
Fix it in post, people. But go buy Unwritten.
I know he
my job.
sounded, wasn't it a double T name?
Yeah, it was like Tommy Taylor. That's it. Tommy
Yes.
Taylor. Yeah.
Tommy Taylor Tinker.
Good team. Good job, team.
Good
So
job.
it's like a slacker Harry Potter. Then it sounds like something I could
it's
enjoy.
pretty awesome, and it's ongoing, and it's really well written. It's like, but I like Brubaker, and I like Mike Carey, and I like Brian K. Vaughan, and those guys are who writes Chew?
John Layman is his name.
John Layman, that's right. And you guys got to meet him, right?
Mhm.
That's
Chew
pretty-
is
what a nice guy.
Chew is an interesting. Now they were talking about making that into a cable series. I haven't heard anything about
Yes,
that.
they're trying to option it, but John Layman makes it sound like it's off the board again because they don't want to give him any control on it. And basically, the idea in Chew is that a big chicken plague came along, and there's now
Bird
no
flu.
The avian flu.
Yeah, nobody can eat chickens anymore, and the FDA is cracking down on places that try and offer chickens. And one of the people who works for the FDA is a guy who can tell you things about a crime by eating something that was at the crime scene.
the whole world has like these weird superpowers. Like
Yeah.
people have different food-related superpowers. Like one woman writes a
so he's
a
not
food
the only
column.
one that can do weird stuff like that.
No,
No,
some
no,
woman
no,
writes a
no.
food column who she writes so well that you taste the food when you're reading it. And so she went and had the worst meal of her life, or just wrote up the worst meal of her life and got fired.
Yes,
And-
because it made so many people sick.
Ill.
Everybody read
genuinely
it in
ill.
QI.
But
Threw up.
but our main character, Tony Chu, CHIU. Anyway, but it is spelled CHEW is the name of the series. And but Tony Chu can bite into an apple and tell you the pesticides used and where it was raised, like the sunny side of it. It's like those guys who smoke pot and go, man, Guatemalan, it's awesome, or whatever. But I mean, but even more than that, you can talk about
So and then at some point, of course, he's got to eat
people.
a finger. Or
Yeah,
something.
he's got to chew on some sort of, and he's like, what?
Gross.
Yes, and
It's
at one
disgusting.
point they tried to get him to eat shit.
Yes.
Wow.
Just do it. Do it.
Just do it. Just
It was
do
like
it.
this is from the dead case files. They give him like a finger from like 7 years earlier, and he's like, what? And they're like, this is what you got to do. You got to eat this finger.
I'm telling you, you get that Sulu from the new Star Trek. What's his name?
John Cho.
Yeah, get
Johnny
him.
John
Cho.
Cho as Tony Chu.
He'd be perfect.
He would be. There are other Asians, but
Yeah,
you
well,
could get him.
You got some star power
Nope.
there, you know.
right. Yeah,
There's
yeah.
only two.
And the big fat bearded partner he starts with would be perfect for John Goodman.
Ooh,
I'm just saying. By
We're
the way,
casting it here.
let's work him.
Yeah. By the way, speaking of one of our favorite comic creators, unfortunately, I'm socially networking on my phone. But Ed Brubaker wrote this on his Facebook page. Maybe we should have made a show about a zombie or a sexy vampire trying to regain the heavyweight title. This is my next TV pitch.
Really?
Kudos, Ed.
I like
Poor
it.
bastard.
I like
I'd
it.
watch it.
All right, let's see. I got a bunch of stuff here. Oh, the Saw 3D TV commercial
Yes.
is upsetting the British.
Which one? Is it the one where the giant hand reaches out and grabs the asshole with the text,
The
with
one
the
that,
cell phone?
the one that you like.
Oh, that was the best commercial ever.
It's upsetting. Well, specifically one British child.
Oh, for God's sake.
Well, then let's end it. If
Well-
a
Kill
the
chi-
kid.
if one
Yeah.
child is hurt,
That's what happened.
what?
One
Which one of the
kid.
princes was it?
Saw 3D. What happened?
Saw 3D
As an
was
ad.
being advertised on UK TV. 10-year-old British kid was watching a show called The Gadget Show, little kid show,
Of course he was.
and the ad came on.
Ugh.
During a little kid show.
I don't know if it's it was it says 8:30 p.m. so it's not really a little kid show. I
Prime
guess.
timey.
Good job, BBC4.
He should have been in bed anyway.
Following the complaint, the Advertising Standards Authority ruled that the preview featuring that's the one you're talking about, could not be broadcast until after 9 p.m.
Listen, in 1977, a movie called Audrey Rose came out.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
the advertising campaign had this really, really frightening poster of this girl in front of a bunch of flames, and her eyes were solid white. And I shrieked bloody hell until the landlady called the police to see if I was being murdered. They didn't pull the fucking ad campaign. And
The
I learned
newspaper
that
didn't come to your house?
No, they didn't come. This is the price we're paying for the information age, where a kid shits himself because of a scary ad, and all of a sudden it turns into international news.
It's funny. The reason they did it was because they want to avoid further distressing children who might not make a clear distinction between the scenes from the film and the scenes in the cinema.
I hope the kid gets bullied now at school.
Yeah.
I do too.
It's your fault I can't see that commercial anymore.
I'm all for
commercial
kid.
asshole.
He's,
Yeah.
he's,
Get your
gonna, he's gonna be
ass
on that
kicked,
reality
you
show with
giant
Star
douche.
Wars kid in 10 years.
Well, I mean, there was stuff like
I was freaked out by "Don't Go in the Basement," the ad campaign for that TV show "Don't Go in the Basement," because it was my job to clean the basement, and but my parents were like, "Walk it off, get over it. You
Stop
have to
being
clean
a
the
pussy."
basement."
Right,
When,
Shut
I,
up, kid.
when I was 7, the commercials for Roger Corman's "It's Alive" would come on, where the little reptile hand would come out of the
Oh, yeah.
bassinet, and my little brother had a reptile hand and lived in a bassinet, and
you could see where it would.
But that was the only thing. That was the only thing it showed was that and the picture of the little
bassinet?
bassinet
Yeah.
with there.
Yeah.
And it said "It's alive."
And it gave you nightmares.
it
That
was a
fucking
freaking
scary.
commercial.
No, I'm
Shit your pants.
No, I'm
scary.
saying,
freaky.
I'm
then-
saying it gave me
and-
nightmares.
And then we saw the movie and went, well, the commercial was scary.
I never saw them. Still to this day,
That's
if I
a
see
ro-
that movie on, I won't watch it because of
hey,
that
by
fucking
the way,
commercial.
Lee, there's a sequel called Island of the Alive.
I know.
That's a rite of passage to find the one thing that scares the shit out of you, and to have international newspapers go, "Oh, he was scared. Take it off." Like, fuck that.
Yeah, don't justify it.
Now, why couldn't that kid
Yeah.
have been afraid of Sarah Palin?
Yeah.
Right.
We
Well, I
need to
want to
boycott
know
her.
why British
He's
kids
British.
are such pussies.
Yeah, British kids. Let's see. Big
Yeah,
Bang.
thanks,
I know a bunch
little-
of 9-year-olds that have seen that fucking movie.
Yeah. Thanks, little Lord Fauntleroy.
Actually, it says. I don't know if this is true, but it says.
any scones after for many hours.
I don't know if this is true, but it says here that his name was Herbert Pocket.
Oh, what a douche.
No. I believe this
Who
kid
names their
is.
kid Herbert?
Yes.
Douchey
I believe this kid's a
parents.
fuck child.
That's the worst.
Ponsby Pocket, and he said that I was a spitting image of his paw.
Keep bleeding, Herbert.
They call me Halt.
Hot.
Go
Pocket.
pussy.
You're not feeling well. I
I'm
understand.
not.
It's all right. Let's see. Big Bang Theory been renewed for 3 more years.
Three
Wow,
years.
that's
That is a
a
commitment.
Dang.
Wow.
I believe I just
They're
heard
not taking-
Scott Pierce cheer from Hollywood.
And I remain indifferent.
Yeah, I'm just, it's the laugh track. I can't get past the laugh.
It's a long
Yeah, but
audience.
have you ever watched it without the laugh track? Like, you can go on YouTube and people
Is-
have cut out the laugh
Oh,
track.
really?
Is it
It's-
not good?
It's awkward.
It's eerie.
They'll make a joke and it's just silent, and then the people will stare at each other because they're waiting for the laughter to die down, but there's nothing there, and you're just like,
Oh, so
should-
See,
so
I
it's
would
a different show because they're. Oh, I didn't
yeah.
even think about
Oh
that.
yeah.
They don't
it's
tape in
com-
front of a live
I watch
audience.
it. Doesn't
or-
bother me.
Oh my
It's a
God.
funny show.
I think it is in front of a live
Yeah, I
audience.
think
It is,
But-
and Tony, this gives me an idea that you and I should find those and whisper in our own in-between sounds.
Is it so? I wonder if
joke
watching
there.
that is kind of like that Garfield strip where the guy edits Garfield out
I like that.
all the John comics. Have you read that at all?
John
No.
it's
It's-
Garfield without. Is it without Garfield?
He takes Garfield out. So anytime John walks in and he does something stupid and Garfield does this funny,
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. Well, he's taking all the Garfield out. So John just comes across as this insane douchebag.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Ah, look at my new flowered hat.
They're so much better than
For
actual
3
Garfield.
panels, you know, there's nothing there. So now I
That-
find myself looking at. I don't read Garfield. I don't give a shit about
Right.
Garfield.
Yeah.
Now I'm waiting for the episode for the strips where John's in with Garfield, so that I can go online and read that days because they're great.
Yeah.
Do you guys do much web comics? Do you guys read web comics at all? or-
I have a subscription to the Marvel Unlimited, which
Oh,
I
okay.
love.
I wrote
Which
some
is
web
comic
comics.
strips.
Yeah.
I mean, that's comic book comics, right? The
Oh,
Marvel
oh,
ones
you
are-
mean
Yeah.
comic
Yeah,
strips?
but,
Yeah, yeah.
but things like PvP and,
Yeah.
and Derek Hunter was doing Pirate Club online as strips too.
And
Our
Hark a
friend-
Vagrant. Have you ever seen that Canadian lady?
No.
The,
no.
the best
Canadian
part about
lady, I
web
think she's
comics is
22.
that guys like me can actually have an audience.
I
Yeah.
still have dial-up, so each panel takes a long time to download.
You
It's
can't
awful.
possibly tell.
He's old school.
It's not worth it.
That's why he hasn't played DC Universe Online in 2 years. He's still waiting to log in.
Just
What's
the head
your
floats around.
webcomic?
It hasn't been for a long time.
But
So-
could people go and look at the archive?
Yeah, the Flaming Toe.
Flaming Toe.
It's about some orcs who don't realize that they're extras in Return of the Jedi.
There's a porny comic strip, Oglaf. Have you ever seen that? OGLAF. I was told that it was porn, but it's essentially, and it's occasionally dirty, but it's mostly just orcs and elves, and it's mostly about a sorcerer's apprentice who is constantly being made to give fellatio to everybody.
Nice.
And it's hilarious, but it isn't as dirty as it wants. Like it, I think it
Like it
wanted to
could
be
be.
porn. But it ended up, I don't think he can sustain it. So
Ended
it's
up
more just
funnier
like
than-
fantasy funny.
I'm sorry, I just flashed to Carrie's basement. A little black dog just ran up. Yeah.
exactly.
Ripley found us.
Oh no.
Super cute.
Let's see. Now this is speaking of the British, a BBC detective show from the 70s
Yes.
called Randall and Hopkirk Deceased. Deceased is in parentheses.
Is it
Right.
like Rosencrantz and Guildenstern? are
I
dead,
don't
or-
know, but it's coming to America.
Thank
Yay.
you.
Coming to America.
It's being remade by Sci-Fi, and they're gonna do
What's
it.
the premise?
Yeah.
The premise is a murdered cop teams up with his former partner to solve crimes from beyond the grave.
Beyond.
So
Man,
that's
I
your
would-
Randall and Hopkirk Deceased.
I would have gotten away with it wasn't for you pesky ghost.
Have you guys seen the BBC the new Sherlock by the Doctor Who guy? The new Sherlock and the new Jekyll.
I've been hearing good things.
Scott Pierce loves it.
I saw Jekyll. It was
is
pretty
it
cool.
Scott Pierce likes it.
Jekyll was kind of freaky.
Scary. I don't know if I can.
Let's see.
Scary.
We got. Oh yeah, we were going to talk about this Death Note movie. Now you know the anime.
I know the anime.
This will make you very happy.
Yes.
Makes me very happy.
The
Warner
anime
Brothers.
is very good, and they've made live action movies in Asia already based off of this, which
Well,
are creepier than shit.
the first.
They usually are.
The first thing you got to do if you're making a live action something based on anime is good director, right?
yeah.
Yep.
How about Shane Black?
Yes,
The
please.
best.
Kiss Kiss Bang Bang.
The other best.
Yes. he also wrote the original Lethal Weapon.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Before
Yeah.
Jet Li came into it.
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
And what else has Shane Black written?
I
The
don't.
Long Kiss Goodnight.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, I like that
I,
one.
I unfortunately I mess him up with another director, the guy that did The Last Boy Scout, but
Yeah.
I screw the two up because I love those movies so much. You do?
The Last Boy Scout.
The Last Boy Scout and Kiss Kiss Bang Bang, I could put those in constant rotation and never leave my house.
The Last Boy Scout has
Really?
the best one-liners of any film I've ever
then
seen in my
some.
entire
That's
life.
true.
Really?
then
So,
some.
oh yeah.
and then some.
Bruce Willis and with Damon Wayans.
Damon
Yes.
Wayans.
Yep.
So good.
I guess I'll have to go back and see it.
It's one of those movies where you really want to hate it because the
I did-
pedigree of
well,
it,
yeah.
you just want
Yeah.
to fucking hate this movie, and then you watch it and you realize that it's made of gold.
It
Yeah.
got such horrible reviews. I didn't go.
It's because those at that time movie critics were not awesome.
It was Vice.
Wasn't me.
did you kill
Wasn't me.
Here's and the other thing you want is not only a good director. You want someone who is a fan of the material.
Right.
He says, quote, "It's my favorite manga. I was just struck by its unique and brilliant sensibility. We want to take it back to that manga, make it closer to what is so complex and truthful about the spirituality of the story versus the concept of trying to make it an American thriller.
Lead
Means
to
it will fail.
explain the premise.
Right.
The
Yeah, well,
premise is kind of, I mean, from what I've seen, I haven't watched a lot of it, but it's about this kid who realizes he has the ability to write literally death notes, and he's got this creepy-looking ghost that follows him around everywhere.
Okay, I've heard
and
of
whatever he
this.
writes down on the paper,
Happens.
it'll happen within a certain number of hours. And there's other people who can write death notes too, and they're kind of sparring and at war with each other. But there's a lot of political intrigue going on because, just like any other, it seems like almost all anime is either set in space or at a university. And so he's got a lot of
That's a true statement.
he's got a lot of rivalry going on where he's basically killing anybody that's a rival of his in the student government, and then you've got the police that are trying to figure out what's going on because people don't just die;
Well,
they die either horrifically or.
I did this a bad idea. Sounds like you got another Columbine there. Yeah.
Dear Dick Cheney.
Well, yeah, because you know what? Somebody's
Yeah.
going to start writing death notes and using these revenants to go
That's
and kill
right.
their
I'm
rivals.
telling you, it's going to influence
That would be
somebody.
like painting a target on someone's face and telling people to go gunning for their districts.
What?
You better watch
No
it.
one
That
would
had
ever
nothing to do
do
with
that.
it.
No one would
Nothing.
ever do that.
Did someone
Why?
do that?
Come on.
Google, I don't know what you're talking about. All right. Let's see.
But I still want to see, if they're going to be doing anime, they really need to get the Cowboy Bebop movie made before.
That is a good anime.
It's great, and Keanu Reeves could play the best Spike Spiegel in the world.
Yeah,
He really
I
could.
could see it.
It needs to happen before he gets too old.
Shannon, after the anime convention, has become a fan
Of what?
of people who go to anime
Yeah, I
conventions.
like looking at it.
Kitty cats.
He likes the
Fucking
people
weirdos.
People who dress as kitty cats. And for Shannon, I always
Anytime you say that, I look for the word Superman on
you
your
see the
prep.
word Superman on the prep here, and it's more heartbreaking
away.
news for Shannon.
Yeah, I bet it's not.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. Because you know how they're doing the Avengers movie
Yeah.
and all that stuff. Warner pretty much is saying they're not going to do a Superman Batman movie crossover.
That's not a
They will
shocker.
if they know it's good for them.
That's what I was thinking.
I hate them.
I think that once they see that the Avengers makes money, they'll change their mind.
Oh God.
Because right now
Someone
he
will get
says
fired.
he says that may be in someone's mind right now, but Batman lives in his world, Superman lives in his world.
Not
and
true.
they're not going to.
Not true.
Bullshit.
Batman lives in
Stupid.
his city. Superman lives in his city.
And they're like
That's
40
a-
miles apart. I mean,
that's
they
a
can
different
see
thing.
each other.
It
They're
would
not
make
gonna
it
put
would
it
make money. People want
It's
to
like
see
Minneapolis
Google
to
map
St.
that
Paul.
shit.
There's just a bridge you cross. and you're like, hey, how's it going?
I always wondered why Daredevil never helped out further than Hell's Kitchen.
He
I was
does.
like,
He's a
go like
dick.
another 10 blocks.
He does every
man.
once in a while. They get
He's
together.
blind.
Him,
'Cause he's-
Moon
yeah,
Knight,
he's
they go out.
he needs the other
What a dick.
superheroes to help him find their
He
cities.
thinks he's in Manhattan. He's actually in
New Jersey.
in Tom's Ferry, New Jersey. and there's no crime
He
there.
took the path he
Yeah.
didn't realize.
Here's the thing about Daredevil that I'm surprised never happened was during the time when Superman got a dog. Why didn't Daredevil get a
He
blind?
really should have.
He did. He
got a
did.
seeing
Did
eye
he
dog.
get a
He
seeing eye
did
dog?
during the Vietnam period. Yes, he did.
And
Yeah.
was he like a superhero dog, or was he
no,
just a seeing
it
eye
was
dog?
just a dog.
See,
And
that's
Ki-
what I wanted
and
was
Ki-
a
and Ki-
superhero
He
dog.
was actually Foggy Nelson was originally the dog. He was a blind lawyer dog.
Karen Page fan. And by the way,
Is
thank you
his
for
name Radar?
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted him to be like a superhero, wacky, Gleek the monkey kind of dog.
By
thing.
the way,
Anyway.
thanks for bringing up Daredevil because the first issue of that Daredevil Reborn storyline just came out.
Yeah.
How was it?
The miniseries. I liked it better when it was called Walking Tall. I liked it a lot better.
Is it the Black Panther one, or is it?
No,
it's
no.
actually Daredevil.
Yes, it's yes.
Trying to figure his.
Because
Yeah.
Black Panther's taken over for Daredevil
Right.
in Hell's Kitchen, right?
Which makes
Because
sense.
Danny Rand wasn't available. Iron Fist was busy doing his own
Oh
shit.
man, I love the Iron Fist. Are you guys reading Nova? You
Yeah,
guys
it got
read Nova?
canceled. God
Did
damn
it?
it. Yep.
Yeah, he's dead now.
Oh, good
Spoiler
lord.
alert.
No, Robbie Ryder. That's right. In the Thanos imperative or
he
whatever.
did get a dog.
I can't think why DC would think that's a bad idea. I mean,
Yeah.
every other
It's
no,
Warner
no, no, no,
Brothers.
no,
Not DC.
Stupid.
It's
No,
Warner
no,
Brothers.
I think it's
I'm just
pride.
saying, I seriously sit around every once in a while and think of a scene in a movie that has Iron Man beating the shit out of somebody, Thor jumping over him and smashing a fucking asshole with his hammer,
Yeah.
and then Captain America swinging by. Just
The
oh my god,
geekgasm, yeah.
And
So
then when
how
they,
could you
and then
not
when they
think
finally get their
that it's-
asses handed
I'm
to him, Hulk
excited.
comes walking up and
I can't imagine.
I've
Why
already
could you
made
not think
this
that
movie in my head.
Superman and Batman beating the shit out of people in the
Well,
same scene?
Take a look at the history of DC and how they've had to catch up,
Well,
play
they're
catch
fucking
up
retarded.
'Cause
I
they-
know.
to
well,
Marvel all the time,
and-
and they're doing it again.
And because they're owned by Time Warner and AOL, they fucking micromanage everything to
Yeah.
death.
It's focus groups and it's consultants
Yes.
and it's
Well,
it's
it's all guys in suits.
It's all
yeah.
That's
guys.
why there's
It's
no
all guys
Wonder
in
Woman
suits
movie.
Exactly.
I know that Vice and I are film
Exactly.
critics, but I guarantee when we walk into the screening for the Avengers, we will say, I don't give a fuck about a plot.
Yep.
If I see one shot with all three of those assholes beating the shit out of the same person,
or one shot
I'm done.
where Hulk actually grabs Thor by the hammer and knocks the shit out.
Yes,
of
and
him.
yes, and then the person who saves him is Iron Man and fucking Hulkbuster
Yep.
armor.
yeah. Because
My
it's gonna
head is
happen.
going to explode.
Exactly.
Yeah.
See, there's the comic series Hush that some people hate, some people love, but there is one scene in Hush where Batman gets the shit beat out of him for quite some time. Ends up in the sewers under Gotham, and he's being beat up by Superman, who's controlled by
Yep.
Poison Ivy.
Okay.
And he reaches into his utility belt and says, Clark told me to only use this for an emergency, and it's just this little sliver of kryptonite.
Oh.
And he just keeps it in his fist
Yeah.
and beats the shit out of Superman.
Nice.
Beats a
3 or
That's
4
what I'm
pages.
talking about.
Yeah.
That's what needs to be in a movie
Yeah.
because
That's
it's
great.
happened before. There's been quite a few times that Batman's knocked the shit out of Superman
Yeah.
with kryptonite that he managed to
Right.
get a hold of. But that reason right there needs to be there.
So, this comes directly from Charles Roven, who is the producer of Dark Knight Rises and Zack Snyder's Superman.
Okay.
Same
Okay.
producer? Yeah.
He's the same producer. He says that their separate story's not going to happen, but I think we all agree. We're calling bullshit on him.
Yes. Well,
I don't know. I bet it won't happen.
And well,
Really?
They've got their heads so far up their ass.
But Brian said this correctly when we did our Big Movie Mouth Off podcast. Chris Nolan's involvement with Batman runs out after the third Batman movie, and then
Yes.
his involvement basically has to do with the Superman reboot where he's producing. He does not have nearly as much say with the characters, and DC is more free to be able to do something if they pull their fucking heads out.
Exactly.
So,
I
so
see
as,
it happening.
So as much as people like Chris Nolan and love his Batman movies, he's also partly to blame because he doesn't want to see this happen either.
Well, he's
Well,
also
Batman's
he's also
his
thrown
bread and butter right there.
but he's also thrown more red herrings out there when it comes to story plot and anything else. I wouldn't believe anything any of these
I
guys
still think the
said.
Riddler's going to be in the third one. I'm not kidding. I really think the Riddler's going to be
I
in
think
the third
actually
one.
Heath Ledger didn't die. They faked his death.
He's living with Tupac and Biggie down in Mexico. I know this.
Damn right.
And Bruce Lee.
Bruce Lee.
And Hitler.
What a party! Shit, I need to go to this.
Stalin's probably there.
What is with DC though? All their bad guys are insane.
I want to love
Like,
the Jews.
They always go to the crazy. You know, like in Marvel, people
Okay.
they're a little whiny. The bad guys are. There's always some sort of sad sack reason why they're bad.
Doctor Doom, I got a scratch on my face. I'm gonna wear some armor. Well, well.
That's so great, though.
I'm gonna go mad, but he doesn't ever really go mad. I mean, Doctor Doom. It's not like the Joker is genuinely he's
Insane.
mindfully insane.
Yeah.
Right, but who else is really insane in the DC villain?
Is it the Riddler?
No.
No.
Not really.
What about the calculator or the
Ziz.
mathematician
Mr.
or whatever?
Zaz.
The calculator. That sounds like the worst villain
and
ever.
It's probably
What about Calendar Man?
It's even mostly Batman villains.
Don't
There's
push
a lot
my
of-
buttons.
It's time for me to subtract you, Green
I will
Lantern.
spell hell on this
I think
calculator.
there is actually a calculator.
Yeah.
There
I
is a
think-
calculator.
Yeah,
I
there
think
is.
they
There
just
is.
they're just they were
There
just
is.
fighting the birds of prey.
It's time
April
to
15th,
divide.
I gotta blow up the IRS.
Look, I stood on my head and it says boobies.
Hello, Batman.
And next was Dial H for Hero was Marvel. So never mind. My joke doesn't work.
No, it was
I thought
DC.
that
Was
a
it
Hitchcock
DC?
movie.
Okay.
Oh, wait a minute.
Now he's going to say there can't be a crossover between Batman, Superman, and Dial H for Hero.
He's
Oh, did
blueberries.
you read that Dial H for Hero
When I was a
series like
kid.
5 or
Yes, it
6
was
years
fucking
ago?
I
It was a
read,
reboot.
I read the original 30 years ago.
Yeah.
Okay,
Where you
yeah.
could write in your character that you made up.
No.
And it would, yeah, it would put your name down there. It'd say, unicorn pants created by Lee Cade. And I'd be,
Oh, that's awesome.
he's got pants made out of unicorns.
The one from 6 years ago, Dial H for Hero, was the dialing thing falls into the hands of just regular folk, as you know, which is
including
what I
an
think it
asshole
always-
who doesn't want it.
Right. And remember the guy who turns into a woman at one point, and he's like,
Yeah.
and then he just at the end of it ends up being a stripper, and he's like, quit looking at my boobs.
Yeah.
And
You know why that
go to
book was
Hoagie?
canceled? Because
Why?
it was good.
because it was so great.
Yeah.
There was only about 8 episodes, right?
I think the original Dial H for Hero just wouldn't work right now because we're all so jaded. But in the early '80s, it was one of those comics that teenagers.
I can see that in the 80s because then you'd have different
that
guest
guy-
stars being the hero every week. Charo one week and
Paul
The
Lynde.
Love American
Lynde,
style of.
yeah, Love Boat of
Fred Grandy.
like the Love Boat. They're gonna be great. Charo would be the guy who was a guy but now a girl. Don't look at my boobs.
I think she's in Vegas offering BJs for $5 a pop on the corner.
Charo?
Hey,
No,
now.
she's got her own theater in Branson. She really does.
She's working.
Right across the street from Rip Taylor's House of Glitter.
Coochie.
All right, let's wrap this up. Thank you, Jackie, for
Thank
joining
you.
us.
Thank you so much. You said this is going to air on the 24th of
This
January?
will air on the 24th. Where will you be?
I will be that following week. I'm in Minneapolis, doing Acme Comedy Company in Minneapolis,
Careful of the anvils.
Minnesota. The which one?
The anvils, the Acme company. that
Oh,
we're
the
well
Acme
known for.
Comedy. Yeah, people shouldn't be
Animals.
allowed to name their own comedy company. I'm at Wise Guys right now.
Exactly.
And there's the Comedy Castle. Sir laughs a lot. It makes you want to cut yourself. I'm not
Yuck,
kidding.
yuck.
Do they have a moat at least?
Or at least a turret. I want a
Something.
turret for real.
Raise the portcullis of laughter. We're under invasion from gloominess.
Where's a comic and pour hot lead on the hecklers?
You can hear Jackie's podcast at dorkforest.com. And where
iTunes.
can we check your schedule and everything?
JackieCation.com, which is linkable off of dorkforest.com.
Cool.
It's Cation with a K.
All right. And anything else before we go?
We
you
got
guys?
a few DVDs and Blu-rays.
Okay.
Oh, cool.
Broadcast News is
Yay.
getting a Criterion edition.
Oh.
And did Jimmy want me to do my Albert Brooks impression?
Of course.
Ooh, that's a lot of alliteration for anxious anchors placed in powerful posts.
Jeez.
Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind's getting a Blu-ray treatment. I love that movie. But Michelle Gondry, Green Hornet. Nowhere Boy, which has starring the guy Aaron.
Kick-Ass.
Aaron Johnson from
Aaron Johnson,
Kick-Ass.
Kick-Ass, yeah. And then he's married to the director. Married now?
gonna say
They, just
he's-
they have a baby. I know.
Yeah. She's much
This is
older.
the story of John Lennon.
Cougars
Yeah.
love
as a
him.
youth.
Sorry, John Lennon, really good. Red, Bruce Willis.
Oh, yeah.
Helen Mirren with
a
Machine
giant
Gun.
gun.
Still gives me a boner. Glee season 2, volume 1. I know
No,
Shannon
no.
wants that
No.
one.
No.
Is there an option to watch it without the singing?
Yeah, exactly.
Can you just fast forward?
Why would you watch it without the singing?
Why would you?
I mean,
why
I
would
don't
you
watch
wanna-
it at all. I think it's a piece of
and
shit.
Webster season 1.
Webster?
How about the Expendables? It's probably out. Probably out.
Expendables, yes, that one.
Webster? And
Webster.
We're not talking the...
Not Gary Coleman. He's dead.
Well, no.
No, you're not...
The other better one.
Little Emmanuel
You're not
Lewis.
talking the blue master of silken surprises from He-Man, right?
Hell no.
Webster.
Talking about
No.
Webster, man.
Webster.
Fucking
Jesus.
Webster.
Inhuman master of
little-
Stinkor.
George Papadopoulos is who I'm talking about.
Yeah.
George Papadopoulos.
The little tiny
And nobody
adopted-
found that show creepy.
It's a little
This
creepy.
middle-aged man and this horse-faced woman adopted this little midget child.
No, it was just a horse.
Yeah, ma'am.
I
She
would
never
watch
even had a name. He just called her ma'am.
Ma'ams.
All right, I'll go out and get
Can I go to
Webster
the
season
bicycle
1.
Yeah, there you go.
I'll rush out and get it.
I need a palate cleanser.
I
Somebody fix
we-
that.
Yes, we all do. Okay, palate cleanser. I don't. I'm sorry, I can't help
Victor
you.
Victoria. Go
Victor
out and rent
Victoria.
that.
That's classic.
Blake Edwards died.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh yeah.
Aw.
Yeah.
I know.
And on that.
No,
Director
so,
of one of my favorite comedies of all time, A Shot in the Dark.
Oh, that is a great one.
Shot in
And
the
let's-
dark. Shot in the dark for the classic parallel bar scene where he dismounts into the stairwell.
Yes. And let's not forget his movie about Hollywood called BS, where we got to see Julie Andrews topless.
Yeah.
What?
Yes.
You didn't know? You're
And
just
Tony,
a kid. I'm sorry.
Tony, they're real and they're spectacular.
They are.
Ah.
Mm-hmm. They're
Well,
all right.
So are mine, though. I'll show you later.
And it was a tit bit nipply.
And and on that note, we good? We good? Shannon?
Yeah, Fade More Ham.
All right.